Before we start, I want to say that only 1% of you are subscribed. Please subscribe because when we reach 1,000 subscribers, I will post a special video for you. The sleek shuttle glided silently through the atmosphere of planet Xylovia, its polished hull reflecting the vibrant hues of the alien sunset. Inside, Thomas adjusted his collar, feeling the weight of his role as an Earth ambassador. Beside him, his colleague and friend, Dr. Marco Jennings, peered eagerly out the viewport. "Look at that landscape, Tom. It's nothing like we've seen before," Marco exclaimed, his eyes wide with the thrill of new worlds. Thomas managed a smile, his mind racing through the diplomatic protocols and cultural norms he had memorized. "It's stunning, yes. But remember, we're not here for sightseeing. This conference is a critical opportunity for Earth." As the shuttle landed with a gentle thud, the cabin was filled with the soft hiss of equalizing pressure. The doors slid open, revealing a bustling platform crowded with beings from across the galaxy. The air was thick with a cacophony of alien dialects, the scent of ozone mingling with exotic flora carried by the breeze. Stepping onto the platform, Thomas and Marco were greeted by Rillick, their Xylovian liaison. His tall, slender form was adorned in vibrant robes, and his face, though humanoid, had an angularity that spoke of his alien heritage. "Welcome to Xylovia, Ambassadors Thomas and Marco of Earth," Rillick intoned, his voice a deep melody that resonated slightly off-key to human ears. "I am Rillick, your guide and assistant during your stay." "Thank you, Rillick," Thomas replied, extending a hand, which Rillick took cautiously. Physical contact was rare in Xylovian greetings, but he had prepared for human customs. As they walked through the terminal, Rillick continued, "The conference will commence tomorrow morning. Tonight, you are invited to a banquet where you will meet the other delegates, including our leader, Zara." Marco leaned in, whispering, "This is our chance to make a first good impression. I heard Zara is both brilliant and formidable." Thomas nodded, feeling the weight of expectation. "Let's not end up on her bad side, then." The banquet hall was a marvel of Xylovian architecture, with high sweeping arches and walls that shimmered with bioluminescent light. As they entered, all conversation turned towards them. It was not often that humans were seen in this part of the galaxy. Zara approached them, her presence commanding. She was taller than most in the room, her skin a pale blue that shimmered subtly. Her eyes, sharp and calculating, fixed on Thomas as she spoke. "So, you are the humans. I must admit, I'm curious what sort of weapon your kind brings to a gathering of peace." Thomas met her gaze, his voice steady. "We come with open hands and eager minds, Leader Zara. Our weapon is our commitment to learn and share." A murmur ran through the crowd. Zara's lips twitched into a semblance of a smile. "Clever words for a human. We shall see if your actions hold as much weight as your words, Ambassador." With a nod from Zara, the banquet began. Thomas and Marco circulated among the alien delegates, sharing insights and laughter, the tension slowly melting into a cautious camaraderie. But Thomas could feel Zara's eyes on him throughout the evening, her interest piqued by his unexpected confidence. As the night drew to a close, Marco nudged Thomas. "You've caught her interest, that's for sure. Let's hope it works in our favor." Thomas glanced back at Zara, who was still watching him. "It's just the beginning, Marco. Let's make sure it's not just our technology that impresses them, but who we are." The chapter sets the stage for a complex interstellar diplomacy, highlighting the nuances of cultural exchanges, the pressures of representation, and the personal dynamics between characters in an alien setting. The first day of the conference dawned bright and clear, with the twin suns of Xylovia casting a golden glow over the city. Inside the conference hall, a hum of anticipation filled the air as delegates from various civilizations gathered, mingling under the high arched ceilings adorned with holographic constellations. Thomas and Marco, along with Dr. Liam's son, their team's lead scientist, prepared for their first presentation. The trio reviewed their notes meticulously, aware that their every word and gesture would be scrutinized. "Remember, the data on our environmental restoration projects could be crucial here," Liam said, adjusting his glasses. "It shows our commitment to sustainability and innovation, not just technology for its own sake." Marco nodded, adding, "And let's not forget the cultural exchange potential. Sharing our art, music, and literature could open more doors than just technology." As they approached the podium, Thomas felt the gaze of the crowd. Taking a deep breath, he began, "Esteemed leaders, delegates, and friends, we are here not only to share but also to learn. Earth, while perhaps young in the eyes of many advanced civilizations, has made strides in balancing technological advancement with ecological sustainability. The crowd murmured appreciatively as Liam stepped up, displaying images of rejuvenated Earth landscapes, forests that had been revived, oceans cleansed, and cities redesigned for harmony with nature. Zara, watching from her seat, leaned over to a fellow delegate. Their methods are primitive, but there's a certain crudeness that could be refreshing. Back at the podium, Marco introduced the cultural segment. We believe that understanding each other's culture is as vital as sharing technology. He played a montage of Earth's diverse cultural expressions, music from various cultures, clips from classical and modern dance, and excerpts from literary works. As the presentation concluded, applause filled the hall. Delegates approached the team with questions and expressions of interest. Rillick, who had been watching from the sidelines, approached Thomas. Your presentation has stirred quite the interest. Some were skeptical that humans had much to offer. Thomas smiled. We're full of surprises. It seems we're not the only ones learning today. Meanwhile, Marco and Liam engaged with a group of alien scientists, discussing potential collaborative projects. Liam, in particular, found common ground with a botanist from a planet known for its vast plant biodiversity. As the day progressed, Thomas found himself occasionally crossing paths with Zara. During a break, she approached him, a speculative look in her eyes. Your presentation, Ambassador Thomas. It was more enlightening than I expected. Tell me, does your planet value culture as much as technology? Thomas nodded. Absolutely. We believe that our technology should not only solve problems, but also enrich our lives. Our culture is what sustains our spirit, just as our technology sustains our bodies. Zara seemed intrigued. A balanced perspective. Unusual for such a young species. Perhaps I will take you up on your offer to visit Earth. I am curious to see how your people implement these philosophies. As they spoke, Marco joined them, his easy charm diffusing the lingering formalities. You should come during the Festival of Lights. It's quite a sight, and the food is something else. Zara laughed, a sound that drew the attention of nearby delegates. I might just do that, Ambassador Marco. It would be enlightening. As the day ended, Thomas, Marco, and Liam regrouped, their spirits high. She's thawing, Marco noted with a grin. Thomas nodded thoughtfully. Let's make sure we keep up the momentum. This conference is just the start. The chapter develops the early stages of diplomatic engagement, showcasing the human delegation's efforts to present Earth as a civilization that values both its technological prowess and its rich cultural heritage, gradually earning the respect and curiosity of their alien counterparts. The following morning at the conference was marked by a spirited air of competition. Delegates were invited to demonstrate their most innovative technologies and theories in what was colloquially termed the Galactic Showcase. For Thomas, Marco, and Liam, this was their chance to put Earth's capabilities on full display. In the preparation room, the team huddled around their exhibit, a compact, multifunctional ecological unit designed to restore degraded environments. All right, this has to go perfectly, Thomas asserted, checking the interface. The showcase could change how the galaxy sees us. Marco, setting up the holographic display, chimed in, and it's a chance to prove that human tech isn't just about utility, but also about sustainable solutions. Liam nodded, meticulously arranging the biosamples. We'll start with the theoretical framework, move to the tech. Then I'll explain the ecological impact with real-world data from our restoration sites on Earth. As they took their place, the hall buzzed with anticipation. Delegates from advanced civilizations showcased their innovations. One demonstrated a device for instantaneous matter transportation, another a model for a quantum computing matrix. When their turn arrived, Thomas stepped forward, clearing his throat. Ladies and gentlemen, what we present today reflects Earth's dedication not only to technological advancement but to ecological consciousness. He handed off to Marco, who activated the holographic display, showing before and after imagery of Earth's landscapes. This unit, which we call the Terraformer, uses a combination of nanotechnology and bioengineered microbes to detoxify soil, purify water, and revitalize biodiversity. Liam then took over, presenting data and results. Here are the outcomes from a region once devastated by industrial waste. 5 years post-Terraformer, and it's now a thriving ecosystem. The audience, filled with scientists and technocrats from across the galaxy, watched intently, their expressions ranging from skeptical to intrigued. After the presentation, a Q&A session began, with several pointed questions directed at the human team. A stern-looking delegate from a highly robotic society asked, how do you ensure the safety of introducing bioengineered microbes into an environment? Liam answered confidently, great question. We use a fail-safe genetic circuit, only active under specific conditions and deactivates after task completion, preventing any unintended ecological impact. As the session concluded, Zara approached the team. Impressive, though I wonder about the scalability of such a technology. Thomas responded, "We believe in starting small, Zara. Each ecosystem has its unique requirements, and our approach is fully customizable." Zara nodded thoughtfully. "Perhaps there is merit in your methods after all, Ambassador Thomas. Your small steps approach is cautious, but it seems effective." Their interaction was cut short as the judges began announcing the standout presentations. The room held its breath as the winners were declared, and to the surprise of many, the Earth team was among them. Celebrations ensued, but Thomas noticed Zara's lingering curiosity. He approached her, offering an informal invitation. "Zara, would you like a more detailed tour of the terraformer? Perhaps over dinner?" Her slight smile was an answer enough. "I would appreciate that, Thomas. It seems there is much about Earth I have yet to understand." As the delegates dispersed, Marco patted Thomas on the back. "Smooth move, diplomat. Looks like Earth might just earn a spot in the galactic community." Thomas, watching Zara mingle with her aides, felt a mix of relief and anticipation. "It's just the beginning, Marco. But it's a good start." The chapter enhances the narrative with a competitive yet cooperative atmosphere, providing a deeper insight into the technological and ecological advancements of Earth, while also developing personal dynamics between Thomas and Zara, setting the stage for further interactions. The success of the Galactic Showcase had indeed put Earth on the interstellar map, and the buzz around the human delegation's presentation hadn't died down even as the conference moved into its third day. Energized by their achievement, Thomas, Marco, and Liam planned their next move, a series of workshops and collaborative sessions with other civilizations. Early that morning, in a small, sunlit conference room, Thomas reviewed the schedule. "We've got representatives from the Cygnian and the Arcturian delegations attending today's workshop. Let's make sure we're on point with our integration strategies." Marco looked over the list of attendees. "I see Zara's sign up too. She's bringing 2 of her top engineers. Looks like she's seriously considering our tech." Liam, setting up his laptop, nodded. "This is our chance to dive deeper into practical applications. I think they're particularly interested in how the terraformer can be adapted to Xylovian ecosystems." As the delegates began to arrive, the room filled with a mix of alien dialects and the soft hum of various tech devices. Thomas greeted each guest personally, ensuring they felt welcomed. Zara was among the last to enter, her presence commanding immediate attention. "Thank you for joining us, Zara. I believe today will be fruitful for all," Thomas said, offering her a respectful nod. Zara responded with a curt nod, her eyes scanning the room's setup. "I am here to understand better how your technology might benefit Xylovia." The workshop began with Liam leading a technical discussion on ecological restoration. Diagrams and data projections filled the screens, and questions flew thick and fast from the curious audience. Marco took over for the second half, focusing on cultural exchange opportunities. While technology can heal landscapes, culture heals minds. We propose a cultural exchange program, art, music, literature, paired with environmental conferences. Zara, who had been quietly observing, finally spoke up. "Your approach is holistic. But how do you manage the integration of such diverse elements without losing the essence of each culture?" Thomas stepped in. "That's a great question. It's about balance and respect. We don't aim to merge cultures, but to allow them to coexist and enrich each other." The discussion deepened, with delegates brainstorming potential collaborative projects. The atmosphere was abuzz with ideas and possibilities, a stark contrast to the initial skepticism that had greeted the humans. As the session wrapped up, Zara approached Thomas. "I must admit, your strategies are more sophisticated than I expected. Earth has much to offer." Thomas smiled, sensing the shift in her attitude. "Thank you, Zara. We're eager to share and learn. Perhaps, if you're open to it, a small team of us could visit Xylovia to explore direct collaboration opportunities." Zara considered this, then nodded. "I think that can be arranged. I will organize it with my team. There's potential here, and I'm interested to see where it leads." As the room cleared, Marco and Liam joined Thomas, both looking pleased. "Looks like you've managed to turn the tide, Tom," Marco said with a chuckle. Liam added, "And not just with the tech. I think there's a real chance for meaningful partnerships here." Thomas watched as Zara left the room, talking animatedly with her aides about the discussions. Yes, we made progress. But the real work starts now. Let's make sure we're fully prepared for what comes next. The chapter portrays the evolving relationship and deepening mutual respect between Earth representatives and alien delegates, particularly highlighting the strategic and delicate diplomacy that Thomas maneuvers to bridge the gap between differing civilizations. Following the successful workshop, the Xylovian invitation for the Earth delegation to visit planet Xylovia was swiftly acted upon. Thomas, Marco, and Liam were escorted by Zara and her team through the bustling spaceport onto one of Xylovia's sleek, needle-shaped spacecraft bound for their homeworld. As the spacecraft hummed through the cosmos, Thomas found himself beside Zara, both looking out at the streaking stars. "It's a beautiful universe," Thomas remarked, hoping to bridge the gap between formalities and friendship. Zara nodded, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "It is. And yet, each world holds its own secrets and struggles. I'm hoping your visit will open new doors for both our worlds." Upon landing, the Earth delegation was whisked away to Xylovia's capital, a sprawling city where ancient architecture met modern technology in a harmonious blend. The city was alive with vibrant colors and exotic smells, a testament to Xylovian cultural richness. Zara led them on a tour, pointing out historical landmarks and technological marvels. "Here is the great library of Xanthier," she explained as they approached a towering structure adorned with luminous glyphs. "It contains knowledge collected from across the galaxy." Marco, ever the cultural enthusiast, was captivated. The diversity of knowledge must be incredible. Earth could learn much from such a collection. Liam added, focusing on the structure and the architecture. "It's both functional and awe-inspiring. Integrates well with your tech." As the day turned to evening, they were invited to a traditional Xylovian feast. The hall was decorated with bioluminescent flora, casting a soft glow over the diners. Seated beside Zara, Thomas took the opportunity to deepen their dialogue. "Zara, today has been eye-opening. Your world is as complex as it is beautiful." Zara, who had been somewhat reserved, smiled slightly. "And your openness to learn and adapt is refreshing, Thomas. Not all visitors from other worlds are so respectful." The conversation flowed more freely as they shared dishes that were both strange and delightful to the Earth delegates. Marco and Liam engaged with other Xylovian officials, discussing everything from art to environmental policies. After the feast, as they walked through a luminescent garden, Zara turned to Thomas. "I must confess, when we first met, I doubted what Earth could offer Xylovia or what could learn from us." Thomas listened, the soft lights casting shadows on the path. "I sense that. I'm glad we could change your mind." Zara stopped beside a glowing plant, its petals opening in the night. "Yes, you have. I find your perspective on technology and culture intriguing. It challenges some of our own approaches." They continued walking, the atmosphere between them shifting subtly. "Perhaps this is the start of something beneficial for both our worlds, Zara." "True progress comes from understanding and collaboration," Zara agreed. "Yes, I believe so too. And perhaps, on a personal level, we can continue this exchange." The chapter highlights the transition from professional respect to personal rapport between Thomas and Zara, setting the stage for deeper interpersonal and interplanetary ties. It showcases the beauty and complexity of Xylovia, while emphasizing the potential for collaborative growth and mutual understanding. The following days on Xylovia were filled with intense collaboration and cultural exchanges. Thomas, Marco, and Liam worked closely with Zara and her team to integrate Earth's ecological technologies with Xylovian environmental systems. As their professional relationship deepened, so did their personal connections, particularly between Thomas and Zara. One evening, after a day of discussions and site visits, Zara invited Thomas to join her for a walk through one of Xylovia's renowned crystalline forests, a place she described as reflective and serene. As they walked under the towering crystal canopies, the light from Xylovia's twin moons scattered in mesmerizing patterns on the ground. The atmosphere was peaceful, almost ethereal. "I wanted to show you this place because it reminds me of what you said about Earth's forest," Zara began, her voice softer than usual. "How they are not just resources, but sanctuaries." Thomas was moved by the beauty of the scene. "It's breathtaking, Zara. It does remind me of home, but it's also uniquely Xylovian." They continued walking, their steps in sync. Zara then turned to Thomas, her expression thoughtful. "You've shown me a new way to view progress, not as a conquest, but as a harmony. It's a concept we Xylovians understood long ago, but seem to have forgotten in some ways." Thomas listened intently, recognizing the trust she was placing in him by sharing such personal reflections. It's something I've been thinking about more since meeting you, Zara continued. Perhaps it's time we revisited some of our old ways. I think every civilization has something old to revisit and something new to learn, Thomas replied, his words echoing the sentiment of mutual growth. As they reached a clearing, the moonlight illuminating the crystalline structures around them, Thomas took a chance and reached out, gently taking Zara's hand. She did not pull away. Instead, she looked into his eyes, a silent acknowledgement passing between them. Thomas felt his heart beat faster, but he maintained his composure. Zara, these past days have been enlightening. Not just professionally. Zara smiled, genuine warmth in her eyes. For me as well, Thomas. I find your company compelling. Encouraged, Thomas stepped closer. I've been wondering if you feel what I feel. Without a word, Zara closed the distance, her actions answering his question. They shared their first kiss under the luminescent glow of the forest, a gentle but firm connection that spoke of budding emotions and shared discoveries. They spent the rest of the evening talking candidly about their lives, their worlds, and the future. It was a conversation that wove their individual stories into a tapestry of potential, a potential not just for their planets, but for them personally. As they made their way back, hand in hand, the night felt alive with possibilities. The intimacy they had shared opened new avenues for connection, not just between two individuals, but also between two very different worlds. The chapter captures a turning point in Thomas and Zara's relationship, blending personal feelings with their professional roles, thus enriching the narrative with emotional depth and the promise of interstellar unity. As the visit to Xylovia extended, the bond between Earth and Xylovia strengthened, highlighted by an ambitious collaborative project initiated by Thomas and Zara. The project aimed to integrate Earth's ecological technologies with Xylovian environmental strategies, reflecting their shared vision for sustainable development. Back at the conference center, Thomas, Marco, and Liam met with Zara and her team to discuss the specifics. The room was lined with screens displaying schematics and data models, the air charged with a sense of purpose. Let's focus on scalability today, Thomas suggested, pointing to the flow diagrams on the screen. We need a model that adapts to both Earth and Xylovian ecosystems without significant alterations. Zara, reviewing the notes, nodded. I agree. Our approach should be flexible yet robust enough to handle different environmental stresses. Liam chimed in with technical details. We're considering using a modular design. That way, components can be customized for specific needs without redesigning the entire system. Marco added, and on the cultural side, we should start planning the exchange programs. Art exhibitions, music performances, literary readings, the whole spectrum. It's about creating dialogue, not just between scientists, but between our peoples. Zara seemed particularly interested in the cultural proposal. I think that's vital. Technology can build the structure, but culture will bring it to life. It will help our people see this partnership as more than just an agreement. It's a bridge between our worlds. As the meeting progressed, it became clear that the project was about more than environmental or technological exchange. It was a testament to their growing trust and cooperation. They agreed to present a pilot program to their respective governments, aiming for a launch at the next Galactic Environmental Summit. Later that day, Thomas and Zara took a break from the intense planning sessions, walking through a market bustling with vendors and shoppers. Zara showed Thomas some traditional Xylovian crafts, explaining their cultural significance. These crafts are made from naturally fallen materials. Nothing is taken from a living plant, Zara explained, picking up a delicately woven basket. Thomas was impressed. There's a similar movement on Earth. Artisans use recycled materials to create everything from clothing to artwork. It's part of our environmental ethos. Zara smiled. Another thing our cultures share. I'm beginning to see how intertwined our paths could be. Their walk turned into a leisurely exploration of Xylovian culture. They tasted local delicacies, listened to street musicians, and discussed the nuances of their languages and traditions. As the suns began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and violet, Thomas felt a sense of accomplishment. Today was productive, Zara. Not just the project, but this learning about each other's worlds. Zara agreed, her expression thoughtful. It's been enlightening, Thomas. I've worked with many species, but this collaboration with Earth, it feels different. Grounded, yet aspiring. They paused, watching the sunset. It's the start of something new, Thomas said, turning to her with a hopeful look. Yes, a new chapter, Zara responded, her hand finding his as they watched the day turn to night. The chapter deepens the thematic exploration of cultural integration and environmental collaboration, setting a foundation for a sustained partnership that extends beyond mere diplomatic relations to a profound connection between the people of Earth and Xylovia. On the final day of Thomas, Marco, and Liam's visit to Xylovia, the preparations for the joint presentation at the upcoming Galactic Environmental Summit were in full swing. The pilot program they had developed was a blend of both Earth and Xylovian technologies and cultural elements, aimed at showcasing the potential of interstellar collaboration. In the conference room, the team gathered around the holographic displays, making last-minute adjustments to their presentation. Everything looks set, but let's walk through it once more, Thomas suggested, his voice carrying a mix of anticipation and determination. We need to make sure our message is clear, the importance of unity and understanding through shared innovation and cultural respect. Marco reviewed the cultural exchange section. We'll start with the impact of our joint art exhibitions on Xylovia, then tie it to the similar events planned on Earth. It's crucial we highlight the mutual benefits. Liam, meanwhile, was double-checking the environmental data. The results from our integrated tech trials are impressive. The restored areas on both planets show significant ecological improvements. It's a strong point to drive home. Zara, joining them with her aides, nodded approvingly. This partnership could serve as a model for other civilizations. It's not just about the environment, it's about how we can coexist and thrive together. As they finalized their preparations, Thomas felt a sense of accomplishment and optimism. He looked over at Zara, who met his gaze with a shared understanding of what they had achieved. The summit was held in the grand auditorium, filled with representatives from countless star systems. The air was thick with anticipation as Thomas and Zara approached the podium to deliver their joint presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, today we stand before you as representatives of two very different worlds. Thomas began, his voice steady and clear. Our partnership is proof that diversity is a strength, not a barrier. Zara took over seamlessly. The initiatives we have undertaken are just the beginning. By combining our technologies and cultural practices, we have not only improved our environments, but have also enriched our societies. The presentation included visuals of the environmental restoration projects and clips from the cultural exchange programs. The audience was visibly moved by images of Xylovian children learning Earth music and Earth scientists working alongside Xylovian experts. Marco and Liam then presented detailed reports on the technical and cultural outcomes, providing a comprehensive view of the project's success. As the presentation concluded, the applause was thunderous, the response overwhelmingly positive. Delegates from various planets approached them, eager to learn more and possibly implement similar programs. After the summit, as the hall cleared, Zara turned to Thomas. What we've started, it's going to make a difference, not just for our planets, but for all. Thomas smiled, taking her hand. We've shown that it's possible to look beyond differences and work towards a common goal. And I believe we've also discovered something significant between us. Zara nodded, her expression softening. Yes, we have. I never anticipated this outcome from our first meeting. It's a pleasant surprise. As they left the auditorium together, the new allies, now friends and perhaps something more, looked forward to the future. Their collaboration had not only bridged their worlds, but it also set a precedent for peace and cooperation across the galaxy. The chapter concludes the story on a hopeful note, emphasizing the power of unity and understanding. The success of the Earth-Xylovia collaboration serves as a beacon for other civilizations, illustrating that even the most diverse beings can find common ground and work together for a better future.